Good morning, Dawgpound South campers. This is the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill. You saw me a couple times yesterday, pregame, postgame. Went back, watched a little bit of the game. I know, I'm a glutton for punishment. But anyway, and I have a few things to revise from the post game show. But first, let's just stick with the facts. It's a preseason game. Last year, as I recall, the Browns went 1-2-1 in the preseason, finished 11-6. Their first game against the Jets, remember, Hall of Fame game. DTR shined and brought some excitement with a wide receiver named Austin Watkins. Last night or yesterday, I mean, DTR comes in, plays extremely well again. That's because you're playing against backups. Now, I know Green Bay got out to a quick start. Why Ronnie Harmon was covering, Ronnie Hickman was covering a wide receiver baffles my mind. It brought back bad memories of the wild card loss in Houston, simply because Ronnie Hickman's a safety. He shouldn't be covering a wide receiver. Oh, and I know that if Denzel Ward or Martin Emerson or even Greg Newsome, or I would even go and say even Cameron Mitchell was covering that wide receiver, that wouldn't have been a touchdown. So, but anyway, again, preseason game. A lot of people are calling it boring. Well, that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be boring. If you think about last year's games, they were all pretty much boring until the last one in Kansas City, 33-32 loss. Deshaun Watson started. It was a very exciting game. But, guess what? Preseason games do not count in the standings. I saw very little on offense, very vanilla. Special teams, Bubba Ventrone, also very vanilla. Jim Schwartz, though, I went back and watched it, and he's trying he was experimenting last night, and I did not see it the first time because I had my wife and I were watching with a friend of ours, and I was a little distracted. But he was experimenting with a few things. This is going to be interesting when the season starts, and he has his starting defensive line in. He just did just tweaked a few different things. You'll go back and watch, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Like I said, DTR, he has solidified himself as the number 3 emergency quarterback on the practice squad. Tyler Huntley did nothing to increase his trade value, but I'm sure as preseason rolls through, Andrew Berry will get probably a 6th round draft pick for him. Andrew Berry special. No run game whatsoever. I like Pierre Strong, but come on, it just did not exist. But you got to remember, Green Bay's defense pretty damn good. So, and their head coach challenged them to play better. And like I said in my blog, Green Bay will play a lot of their starters in the preseason for one simple fact. They did it last year, and they finished 9-8 and made the playoffs. Similar to what the Browns did going to West Virginia. They went to West Virginia. They finished 11-6. Who says NFL teams aren't superstitious? But, you find your niche, and it works. You keep doing it. Standouts on offense. James Thrash, definitely. Cedric Tillman, awesome. The offensive line, got to get rid of. Here's the problem. The Browns know James Hudson is a problem right now. And left tackles, especially backup left tackles, do not grow on trees. Unfortunately, right now, they've got to push Jedrick Wills to be ready for the season opener. And I know a lot of Browns fans are out there shaking their head going, oh, God, we got to count on Jedrick Wills. Yes, prior to the bye last year, he played terrible. They motivated him on the bye week. He came out and he played well until he got hurt. But let's just face facts. James Hudson is not a left tackle. I want to see Dawand Jones taking some snaps at left tackle. Please, for the love of God, let's get rid of James Hudson. As for the other offensive linemen, Wyatt Teller was the only starter. You got to hold out Bitonio. Hopefully, Conklin will come back from the injury. He's on the pup. Will's on the pup. Conklin was walking around the stadium with a wrap on his knee. So, I don't know what was up with that Instagram post before training camp where he implied he'd be ready to go. Obviously, he's not ready to go. But Dawand Jones can take his backup. But you got to find a left tackle. I'm going to be curious to see who starts against Minnesota. Let's face facts. The starter's going to scrimmage against Minnesota. And during the game, it's going to be backups again. There's no video of the scrimmages. It's not televised. So I expect the Browns to emphasize what they're going to do in games in that scrimmage. Because like I said, it's not televised. Then you get to the preseason game. It's televised. All bets are off. Backups. Let's take a break. Okay. So what else? D-line. Michael Hall. I went back and watched last night on the post-game show. I was a little bit concerned that I didn't hear his name a lot, but then I went back and watched. He's putting quite a bit of pressure. He forced the Green Bay, I think it was second string quarterback Clifford, to throw an incompletion. But like I say, pressures are better than sacks, and he was always around the ball. Isaiah Thomas. I mean, really, this guy's a 7th round draft pick. I mean, come on. I am thrilled he's showing up. Isaiah McGuire, iffy. Siaka Ika, you can tell his body's different, but he's still lunging at the offense, and that can get him off balance. Briggs, the other draft pick, didn't have a tackle, didn't do anything. Miles Harden, cornerback, very good, excellent pick. Devin Bush, he had a good game. I wanted to see what he was going to do, and I am thrilled. This guy has the potential to be a great linebacker with Jordan Hicks and JOK. Believe me, both Devin Bush and Jordan Hicks are 3-down linebackers. And then you got JOK, also a 3-down linebacker. So you can shuffle these guys in. The Browns like to play 2 linebackers, but when they have to play 3, I am completely confident. Who else? Let's see now. Oh, Brady Breeze, a late pickup, played at Tennessee. I know you're going to say a safety is supposed. He led the team in tackles, and you're going to, when it's a blowout, the safety always leads the team in tackles. Go back and watch how he tackled. He even had the only sack of the game. Excellent pickup. If Ronnie Hickman can't go, I feel completely confident in Brady Breeze. He ain't no Andrew Sendeo. So basically, 26 starters and key backups didn't play. They had 2 offensive starters, I think Wyatt Teller and Tillman, and 2 defensive starters, Devin Bush and I can't think of the other one. but that's okay. Doesn't matter. It's a preseason game. Who cares? Problem was, and there weren't that many penalties. There were bad penalties. That penalty on that long pass to David Bell, catch and run. I mean, is that the fault of the offensive player, or is that the fault of the officials? It's preseason, it's practice. I didn't think it should be called, but I'm a biased Browns fan. So injuries. Oh, man. Luke Whippler, backup center, fractured. Yesterday, I reposted a report that said he broke his ankle, fractured ankle. They're not ruling him out for the season, but you can pretty much figure he's out for the season. So now the Browns got to find a backup center. Their emergency center, Michael Dunn, was inactive. I don't want to use him as a backup center. He's don't get me wrong, he's a very good center, but he's a better guard. And he can take either a left guard or right guard when needed. So could Whippler. Whippler could play guard. So you got to find a center. Got to find a backup center behind Ethan Posick. Hickman, back injury after that long pass. Don't know what that's all about. Various groin and quad injuries. Nathaniel Watson, the rookie, quad. David Bell, after that catch that was nullified, quad. And I didn't see this, but Vincent Gray apparently got hurt with a groin injury. He was destined for the practice squad anyway, so I don't know what's going on there. So now, this week, we get ready to host the Vikings next Saturday. No starters, of course. Like I said earlier, they'll scrimmage the starters. I'm sure the Vikings will start J.J. McCarthy. For all you Ohio State fans out there, this should be interesting, especially with Michael Hall in the game. I'm kind of looking forward to watching this one. I know it's going to be Browns backups, and that's fine. They're going to do the starters in the scrimmages, and there's no video of it, and that's the way they like it, because the Cowboys can't dial it up and find out what the Browns are going to do. I also now want to watch to see what Jim Schwartz does next week. Like I said, he did a couple little experiments, kind of like a little curveball. Remember how he talked about in preseason that last year the defense, it was all fastballs, and now they got to learn to do a changeup or a curveball. He did a little changeups. So I'm really curious. Also, I had said that Mike Vrabel wouldn't be in the stadium. Apparently, because it's preseason, he is going to be in the stadium. I love it. Mike Vrabel is an extra eyes and ears and voice on the sidelines during preseason games, because preseason games are about all teaching young players. You got to find the practice squad. The Browns roster is so talented that that's all you're looking at. You're looking at practice squad players. So I love that. And finally, as I said last night on the post-game show, no Denny's menu. That's the first thing I noticed. I saw Kevin Stefanski standing on the sideline. He didn't have his big plastic Denny's menu. I'm like, whoa, this is great. Maybe he is going to let the OC do some play calling. Ken Dorsey. But Ken Dorsey had a pretty good size Denny's menu. So that's just a little food for thought. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit back. I'll be in North Carolina next Saturday. Definitely going to watch it. Here are the things to watch in the next preseason game. Just pay attention to the defensive line. I know that's going to be all backups, and see if you notice anything different. I'm also going to be very thrilled to watch Devin Bush play again. I want to see a little bit more out of the safeties. I don't think Hickman will play, but that allows Brady Breeze to play a little bit more. So there are different things I'm going to be watching, but look for the Browns to pick up another backup center this week. There really isn't anybody out there. I checked available free agent centers, and it ain't a long list, and it ain't a good list. So let's see what they do. Also, got to do something about left tackle. I don't know how they're going to do this. I'm going to be paying attention this week to see if they do any left tackle reps for Dawand Jones. I'd even take the guy from Cincinnati. I know he's not that very good, but he started in a freaking Super Bowl. So with the Bengals, Adeniji. Let's see what he can do. Start him over James Hudson, please. Let's see what happens. All right, this has been the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I want to thank you for subscribing, following, watching, and listening. It's because of Browns fans like you that we do this. And we are just like you. We're fanatical, and we love our Browns. So everybody have a great day, and go Browns.